Hey y'all, happy Thursday.
Hey, Carol, how are you?
You're good. Hi everyone. Hey, Amy. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
Very exciting.
Exciting. We're happy to have you.
Thanks.
Ashley, how are you? Are you getting enough sleep?
Yeah, no, we're doing a split shift. And so my husband is so kind of take the night shift and then he'll sleep from like 6 to like noon, hopefully. And I just do like kind of like day shift and we're doing it. We're taking turns.
Enjoying yourself?
You know, I am. You know, it's a lot of work, but then they make a sound or a face and you're like, okay, this is this is worth it.
Are you going to have 5 more kids? Is that what I hear?
Oh, I don't know.
Ashley, I don't think I've seen you since. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. So we're
Hi,
hanging.
everybody.
Hi, Bob.
Right. Start admitting all. All right, we're just waiting on, I think, Nicole and a few of our other members. I'm just going to admit waiting room as I see people come in.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Happy Thursday. Almost, it's a Friday Eve. Friday is what I like to call
Friday
it.
evening.
Friday Eve.
I am on headphones, hold on.
Hello.
Wow.
Cool.
You all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Nicole, I just made you co-host as well, so that should give you screen sharing privileges. Right.
Hey, Mike, so you and I are the new members, right?
Very exciting. I know she got a guitar back there. Are you going to serenade us during the meeting?
No, sorry, unless you want me to. I can't really. Let's see. I could play something, but I don't. Where's the agenda? Did you send us an agenda?
Yeah, it's
Yes?
always linked. The answer is yes. It's always linked. It's also always linked through the website.
Yeah, you can always find it 3 ways. It's always on our website under meetings. For board, for PLBRA members, it's in the meeting invite that you receive.
Oh.
And then I always put it in the chat, which is where it is now. And then once Dan and Mike get set up, they can also always find it in our internal drive, which I will meet with you and show you how to use.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
But it's always on the website is the easiest answer.
Great, thank you.
Laurent, it's
right.
so nice to see you again.
Hey, good evening, or like we say in French, bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Laurent. Bonsoir.
I think everybody except Walter. Do we expect Walter?
We do not. We do not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, in that case, it's a little after 7 o'clock and I think everybody that we're expecting is here. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:02. Let me start by congratulating our new board members. I guess Nicole will have a little more to say about that. But I do want to say congratulations and welcome. Well, welcome to the new board members and congratulations to all of the new and returning board members.
Bob, I'm sorry, just as a small point of order, John is still on the board for a few more moments. I'm noting him as absent.
Why is John still on the board?
Well, I
He's-
guess you're right. We just haven't.
we
This
haven't
is
had- we
now where
haven't
we're
yet.
welcoming, but yes, I understand. I just wanted to note that John is now transitioned.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of our December meeting? Dan moves, Angela
So
seconds. Okay, discussion. I don't see any discussion. All right. All those in favor of approving them, let me know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the hands up, please. 5, 6. Excuse me. 5, 6, 7. I see
Yeah.
7 yeses.
Yeah, Laurent, you can't vote.
I don't think Bob
Sorry.
counts them, so it's okay.
I didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've got the yeses. Are there any no's? I see 2 no's. Are there any abstentions? All right, did I miss somebody? Because I think there
We
are 10 of
did.
us
We
here.
should have 11 voters.
Oh, 10
That
because
Walter's
Walter's not.
not here makes 10.
Right. So, all right, you know what? Use the raise hand feature, please, to vote yes. If you approve. And I'm gonna,
where the heck is it?
At the
it's under
bottom,
it's under reactions.
Yeah,
see the little heart at the bottom?
Mike and Dan,
yeah, I see that. Right, I'm looking for the
Okay.
hand though. Oh, there it is.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
applause.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
I'm
put up-
not seeing it. I'll put my hand up.
okay,
Okay.
we got you, Mike.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I'm putting my hand up too, Mike. I can't.
and 8. Okay, now I've got it. Now I've got 8 yeses. Okay.
What
And
happened?
Toby, I think you were a no vote, weren't you?
For what? Oh, yeah, no, I'm a no vote for the
Okay.
minute.
Okay,
Sorry.
Yeah,
8
this is on the minutes.
to 2. 8 to 2, noted.
Okay, so it's 8 to 2. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah.
Okay, and if one of the hosts would lower all the hands, thank you. And now is there a motion to approve the minutes of the annual meeting of members on January 12th? Is there such a motion?
I move.
It's Mike. Is there a second? Dan seconds.
Second.
Okay, is there a discussion?
Yes.
I'm just gonna abstain because I left early, so I don't think I can vote on them.
Right. Me too.
Okay, Angela?
Yeah, I have a question. Are we satisfied that those are complete? Because I am not sure that, and Nicole, can you comment on this? Did you get feedback on the minutes?
No, the January minutes had no feedback or discussion in the interim. Bob did make some edits for me when I shared them with everybody.
The annual meeting minutes, you mean?
Yes, that is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. The point of,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. In full disclosure, because speakers chose to not use the microphone as repeatedly requested by me, I could not hear everything that was said. So I noted what I could and then shared it with everybody to add, notable important things that were missing. When we don't use the microphone, it really presents problems. So
It wasn't working. They tried, so.
I see.
Yeah.
So that was what I could capture. I know Bob edited a couple of things. We could table this and look at them again next month if there's concern. There's certainly no pressure to approve them today.
I would move that we table them for next month because I personally haven't reviewed them. I've been a little busy this week, so.
Okay, is there a second? Dan seconds. Okay. Is there discussion on the motion to table? I don't see any. All right. All those in favor of tabling, let me know. Board members, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse me, 5. I will also vote to table, so that's 6. And Dan is 7.
No.
All those opposed to tabling? Yeah, okay, yeah, all the yes votes, please lower your hands. Okay, all those opposed to tabling, let me know. I don't see any. All those abstaining on the motion to table, let me know. Mike, Shelley, Toby, Rick, you're not on the board. I need board members. And Holly, I don't think did I get your vote, Holly?
7-3 does not work.
Yeah, just
No,
to
7 to 3
confirm,
does work. 7 to 3 does work. There's only 10 of us.
Oh, there are 10 of us. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you
I
got
gotta redo my math in my head. 703. Noted.
Okay. Okay. So that, all right. So the motion is tabled. Elections update. That will be Nicole.
All right, greetings, everybody. For those of you who are paid voting members, I emailed you the election results this afternoon. As a point of order, that report comes directly from Bruce Altschuler, who takes all of the proxies and locked ballots away with him on election day and tallies them. I will screen share just to share the most pertinent page, which is the results page. And I want to thank everybody for running. As I said in my email, we are happy to welcome Mike and Dan. And Bruce closed out the election as of 3 p.m. today. So these are the election results. And per his report, you needed 39 votes to be elected in accordance with our bylaws.
There were 64 total ballots cast.
39 or more is elected. It is certainly not a popularity contest, and his results are listed here alphabetically. It does no good to get 100% or 80%. It's just the threshold is the threshold. So welcome to all of our members who prevailed in this year's election, and we'll go at it again in January of 2026. I am going to bring back to the board, perhaps at the February or the March meeting, depending on the weightiness of the agenda, 2 recommendations from Bruce. I don't necessarily have a preference. One recommendation is to lower our quorum threshold from 50% to 25%. Another consideration is that since we email the proxy to all eligible voters, can that be the act of quorum? Because everybody has the opportunity to vote if they have received the proxy. I raise this for a couple of primary reasons. It is hard, and especially in a modern era, to get 50% of active members to show up or drop off a proxy. We're 0 for 2 on that, though we were very close. We were very close this year. The second reason that I raise this is because our current bylaws allow, once we do the all call to email your ballot to Bruce, it meets quorum. So could we not just say then, and because we're emailing the proxy, we meet quorum, or do we want to lower the threshold to 25%? And my primary excessive motivation for passing this along is Bruce has deplored us for 2 or 3 years in a row to change our threshold. But also because our primary goal in 2025 is to expand membership. That will actually only make meeting quorum harder, not easier, because if we keep it at 50%, it further increases the number of people we have to get to show up on the second Sunday of January. So absolutely not an action item today, and it is not even urgent or pressing per se, but I want to mention it because it's fresh that at Bruce's guidance, we should at least discuss and consider taking some amount of action on this before we enter and in reasonable preview time of election 2026. It should not be a late fall decision by any means, would be my suggestion for full transparency and fairness. I believe, Bob, that item 2B is then not necessary.
Correct.
I will leave that to you. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Next, it's time to elect officers for a 2-year term. All of the previously elected officers, their terms expire as of Well, basically, as soon as the election is done, meaning this election right now, the one that we're about to hold. With that being said, it is time to open nominations for president of PLBRA.
I want to nominate myself.
Okay, Angela
I'm
nominates
allowed to
herself.
do that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Angela nominates herself. Are there other nominations? Mike?
I'd like to nominate you, Bob.
Okay, I accept that nomination. Are there other nominations for president? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, gone. Okay, nominations are closed. Do we just want to go straight to a vote, or do we want to have the candidates speak?
I would
I'd like-
prefer to have the candidate speak. Sorry, Angela, I didn't mean to.
Oh,
interrupt.
no, I was gonna say that I would like to speak, but thanks, Nicole.
I think it would be good for everybody, especially because we have new board members to hear from our 2 candidates.
Okay,
Shall I adjudicate?
please.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think I should.
Okay, I will adjudicate. So Angela, since your nomination came in first, I will give you the floor for a proverbially short statement on why you would like to be president.
Okay, well, thank you. So at this point, I've held every officer job on this board, including at least one that was made up. So I'd still have an officer job on the board. And I've done a lot of work around all this stuff, including despite some serious personal challenges. So one of the biggest things was reestablishing our relationship with management. That was a big deal because we didn't have one. Creating getting us loaded up on all of our digital tools, and running large projects when the hands were needed. So I would call myself basically the board factotum over the past 4 or 5 years, where wherever the help was needed, I did it. So in terms of my the board itself and also the organization, I think we need a lot more structure, and we need to set expectations for the board, and to-do lists and goals. We just need to actually run this as a team, which hasn't really been happening. We've been living in our silos. So we need that kind of structure, and we need somebody who's willing to provide it. And I'm willing to do that. Along those lines, I will freely admit I wasn't the best treasurer on the planet this year, but it was primarily because I spent nearly 6 months working on political campaigns. And during the course of that, I managed 15 remote teams, people all over the country, hundreds of people who were deploying digital marketing and candidate support to 13 candidates in 2 states, Nevada and Texas. And I'm happy to say that all my Nevada candidates won. And in Texas, most of them beat their vote totals. And the organization I was working for actually used my work as the basis for their fundraising this coming year. So my point in raising this issue is that I know how to do this. Besides my work as a chief marketing officer, primarily in the tech space, I've also worked extensively with nonprofits and actually helped train people at the Center for Nonprofit Management, which is where people here in LA go to actually learn how to run nonprofits. So, and then I actually want to close in saying that I think Bob has done some incredible work. And if you put me in this job, which I'd be delighted if you did, I would prefer that he remain an officer and that we let him devote his time to the thing that he is really, really good at, which is organizing with our political representatives and keeping us in front of the city and the state. So, create an officer title for him so that he can keep doing that job. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Bob, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Well, I guess most of you, maybe all of you have seen me in action for the last several years. So you've got a pretty good idea of how I like to do things, how I probably intend to continue doing things. I do believe that, given that we are an organization consisting completely of volunteers, motivation is key. It is important, in my view, to keep people motivated to do things, because the bottom line is, in a volunteer organization, if your board members don't want to do the work, they simply won't. So I have done my damnedest, really, to keep my colleagues on the board feeling included, even when we have disagreements. I guess you'll tell me how good I've been at that. Other than that, I do think that it's important that the political contacts I've developed over the last several years be embodied in the office of president. It is important when I go out there that I'm able to say I am president of the PLBRA Residents Association. That carries weight. It just does. And even in a different office or position, it would not carry as much weight. And there are some times when you're out there that it simply has to be the president or a designee. So with that said, I think most of you know us both and probably have a pretty good idea of what you want to do. So I'll shut up and let this go to a vote.
Thank you. And just as a point of order, because I don't do this often, are we now taking discussion or just vote?
I would recommend just go to a vote, but that's really not my call.
Mike, did you have a question? Or
I'd like to make a comment if it's allowed.
that's what I think we're just deciding. Anybody else on the board feel passionately about discussing versus voting as our next action?
I believe the best thing is to listen to the candidates speak and then hold a vote. That's been the precedent on my experience in previous
I
elections.
think that is the normal order of action. Mike, apologies. I hear you
No
about
problem.
wanting to comment. I do think that's the normal order of business. So are we just doing all in favor of, all in favor of?
Roll calls, given the number of people on the Zoom call, roll call might be clearer.
Yeah, and I have it here.
Okay.
I was wondering if we could, if they could log out just so they don't have to see who's voting for who.
No,
it-
because we
That's
get
have
to
to be
vote.
public action.
we get to vote and it's public.
So
Oh.
you can choose or abstain. Dan.
No, I'll choose.
Okay. Holly,
I'm voting for Bob.
Shelley,
Bob,
I am abstaining. Angela,
I'm voting for myself.
Mike,
Mr. Shore,
Toby,
Abstain.
Henry,
Oh, this isn't fair. I'm gonna abstain.
Walter's not here to vote. Bob,
I'm voting for myself.
Ashley,
I abstain.
Dan,
Angela, yeah, Angela. Angela.
have I missed somebody?
Did Toby vote?
Yeah,
I have all 10. I have all-
Oh, you got all 10. Okay.
I do. So, that is 4-1 in favor of Bob. Thank you.
I thought it was 4-2.
I'm so
Didn't-
sorry.
Didn't Dan
Thank
vote
you.
for Angela?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Angela, thank you for what I hope will be your continued work. And as always, I intend to remain open to your input, and I know that you'll let me know if you think I'm not. Moving on, Vice President.
I would like to nominate Ashley if she is willing as a new mother.
I accept the nomination.
Okay, are there other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Angela.
Angela,
I'm
do you
not-
accept?
No, I do not. I had the
Okay.
job already. Thank you. I'm not doing it again.
All right. Are there other nominations for Vice President? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Closed. All right. In the interest of time, I suggest we move directly to a vote. All those in favor of re-electing Ashley as vice president, let me know.
Ashley can and should feel inclined to vote for herself.
Can you make the hand?
Thanks all.
Okay. Any opposed? All right, I'm sorry. Electronic hands down.
How do you do electronic hand?
Angela, would you lower your electronic hand?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Congratulations, Ashley. Next, secretary. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. I'm going to nominate Nicole.
In fairness, I'm not sure I could give this job away if I wanted to.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Does she need a second? I second.
Nah, you don't need a second, as long as she accepts it. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Closed. All right. In the interest of time, let's go directly to a vote. All those in favor of re-electing Nicole, let me know. I think that's all 10 of us.
You don't see under the hand either.
All right.
If you move the cursor
Just to make sure I didn't miss anybody, any abstentions and any no votes. Okay, congratulations, I think, Nicole.
reaction.
Thank you.
And now treasurer. Are there any nominations for treasurer?
That's it.
I
Yes, by
nominate
Angela.
Angela.
Okay, I heard nominations for Angela. Angela, do you accept?
I'm kind of unsure right now.
We have to make a decision. So,
Are there any other nominations? I can wait.
okay. So, all right. So it sounds like the question is there anybody else who wants, or at least would be willing to accept the position of treasurer? Is that what's going on, Angela?
Actually, my continuing activity in the organization is what is in question right now, frankly, you guys.
Okay.
So I will accept it for the time being.
Okay. Are there other nominations for treasurer? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Closed. All right. Let's go directly to a vote. All those in favor, let me know.
I know.
Okay. Toby, are you voting?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Okay. And Angela, are you voting?
Yes.
Okay. That's 10 of us. All right. That concludes the constitutional officer nominations. I would like to make a motion before we move off of elections for officers. I would like to make a motion that we again create the office of Chief Fundraising Officer, and I will nominate Holly to take that position. And well, let me get a second for the motion first. Shelley seconds. Okay, and the reason I want to do this is, well, I'd rather let Holly speak for herself as to what she's accomplished in the recent past.
Okay. Hey, forgive me. I'm recovering from surgery. But I'm really interested in this position. Number one, I want to continue to support Angela in her activities with treasurer, and one of our big needs is receiving funding. And between Angela, Bob, and myself, we have gotten a promise of a donation from the Hackman Group, which I should know more about by the end of this month. I have experience in doing fundraising with the Topanga Community Club and running events and getting sponsorships. And I believe I have the ability to also reach out to our political contacts and say, hey, we've got this ability to support your contingency here by being active in our newsletter so that we can keep the newsletter running and keep our organization going because we know memberships are not enough. Thank you for considering me.
All right. Thank you. So I guess the motion should be to create the office for this year. And then once we've decided to create the office, assuming we do, then we fill it. Is there discussion of the motion to create the office? Dan?
Yeah, is this also for increasing membership?
Two different things.
Right, exactly. But they also go hand in hand. So I would be the position would collaborate with both Angela and the secretary to help increase our membership roles as well. But it can't be our only source of funding. We keep it
Holly,
affordable.
I want to clarify something. As secretary, it's not actually my responsibility to increase membership. And while I certainly make efforts, I don't want to infer or imply that it's my job.
Got it. Thank you for that
And in
clarification.
full and fair disclosure, as most of you all know, I am writing a dissertation right now on top of working 50 plus hours a week, and I alone could never increase membership. It is absolutely an all hands on deck, 5-alarm red emergency to increase membership. And I appreciate the kudos, but to assist all of us is perhaps a more fair statement, Holly. Thank you.
You bet. So that would be part of the role of this position would be to encourage, train, support the board in increasing membership and support our members in recruiting membership. I know Ashley has taken an interest in it as well. So as we all are working people and this is a volunteer board, we'll try to make it as easy as possible. Thank you.
Holly, can I add something to that? I mean, I know
Sure.
this is your speech and not mine, but it is actually incumbent on every member of this organization to help with fundraising. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. And I did not bring this up in my discussion about the president role, but all the nonprofits I've worked with, the head of the organization was the chief fundraiser. So I'm not trying to, I think we should have this role in the organization, but what I'm actually doing is pointing fingers at everybody who's sitting on the board here right now, the directors, who are not helping with this effort. And it's your job. And so I just want to raise that as one of the issues here. It's not just Holly's job to do this. It's her job to lead a team of people who make this happen. So you have to commit to this, all of us, if we're planning to do this. You know, as somebody who kind of labored far afield to try to make this happen, I'm a little not happy about it, as you can tell. So if we put Holly in charge of it, we have to support her, or we might as well just not do it.
Is that part of her job description?
What? Sorry.
To be in charge of fundraising.
Well, so the current motion on the floor is to create a chief fundraising officer position.
Can I clarify who was the second when we started this discussion a few minutes ago? Thank you,
Shelley
Shelley.
was.
I thought it was. I just didn't want to assume. Thank you so much, Shelley.
Okay, is there further discussion of the motion to create the position? All right, I don't see any. Let's use the electronic stuff if you can. All those in favor of creating the position of chief fundraising officer, let me know. 8, 9, 10. All right, that's all of us. Okay, the position is created. Please lower hands. Now I nominate Holly for that position. Holly, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept.
Okay. Are there other nominees for the position of chief fundraising officer? Going once, going twice. Going 3 times. Gone. All right. Let's go to a vote. All those in favor of electing Holly as chief fundraising officer, let me know. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Angela, you voting?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm a yes.
Okay, that's 10 of us. All right, that's all of us. All right, lower hands, please. Thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. Congratulations to all of our officers. Board committee.
Dan, did you have a question?
Yeah, I
Oh.
did. Is there a job description or any details associated with this new position, or should there be?
Dan, we should write job descriptions for every job. I mean, we sort of have them in some places. As I'm the one who has held this position for the last 2-3 years, whenever it was created, I'm happy to work with Holly to get that drafted. But it's one of the structural things that we do not have in this organization, and it kind of makes me crazy. So
Well, then,
we're
do we-
just gonna have to get it done.
Okay, can that be put on the agenda for somebody to write job descriptions and for
I
us
think
to?
you just got nominated, Dan, to write them. What I heard Angela say was
Hey.
he would be happy to work with you on creating them, is what I heard.
I
Well,
seconded.
Okay,
Say that
okay.
at all. I mean, if Dan is willing to do that, that's great.
Can somebody tell me give me an idea what the jobs entail?
I think you and Angela could work on this offline and report back next month would be my
Look,
suggestion.
I'm sorry, I volunteered for fundraising thing.
For what?
I'm not volunteering to write all these job descriptions. The people who hold the jobs should write the descriptions.
Okay.
So
And-
you guys write the descriptions, and if Dan is going to be in charge of it, give them to Dan, and Dan can organize for folks. But I'm not writing all the job descriptions.
Sure, and I
Sorry.
will circulate the bylaws as well, as there are some duties outlined in our bylaws for the 4 officers.
Okay, I'd like to make a deadline for people to submit these things to me. 2 weeks, how does that sound?
Sure.
That works.
Okay, great. So you have my email address?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully within the next short period of time, you'll have a PLBRA email address.
I'll talk about that a little bit more in my report.
Okay, so 2 weeks, I want job descriptions from all the, president, VP, secretary, and treasurer, and fundraiser. And Board of Elections for officers, fundraiser should be added for next year's election.
Not necessarily.
No?
Not necessarily.
We
It's
are
one-
elected at large, Dan, and then the elected board appoints officers within, kind of like how city council works. So,
Okay, all right.
Yeah, basically the 4 president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, 4 officers who are in the bylaws, those are elected for 2-year terms.
Okay.
But any other officers that the board creates at its discretion are elected for 1-year terms.
Okay, I want to have one rule. Nobody can say their job position includes world domination.
Damn it, where's an eraser?
I'm
Oh,
out.
sorry.
I'm out. No.
All right. Moving on, board committee assignments. Aside from John, I think we have all of our incumbent officers, all of our incumbent board members back.
But they may not want to serve on their same committees, Bob.
I know that was going to be my very next question. Is there anybody who served on a committee last year who does not wish to serve on a committee?
Bob,
or does not wish to serve on that committee this year? Yes.
Bob, I think we just need to do a quick rundown because otherwise you're asking me to herd cats.
Okay.
Okay, Community Services Committee has been Shelley and Toby. This would include senior services as well, Toby.
I think she just walked away, but we both
Oh, there she
want to
is.
stay.
Okay, great. Does anybody else want to join? Okay. Communications Committee has been Angela, Ashley, Nicole. Would anybody like to leave or join?
Oh, and, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, Dan and Mike, I want to make sure that you guys get involved in at least one or two committees.
I'd like to see if we can create a new committee that I'll be on.
Okay, we'll come back to that, Mike.
Okay.
Newsletter coordinator, anybody want the gig?
Please add my name to the communications committee.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Going once, going twice, hearing none.
Nicole, I'm happy to also step in. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. I'm happy to step in for newsletter too, since that kind of helps with the social media.
I might tap you in once I get my dissertation going. Maybe we do march together and circle back.
Yeah, love that. Great.
Thanks, Ashley. Safety and Security Committee. This is Walter for sure. I do know he wants to continue. Anybody else? Holly, you have been on this in many capacities. Can anyone see if she's on camera? I'm sharing, sorry.
Wait, what was it? Sorry.
The safety and security work you've been doing with Walter?
I'm gonna
Yay,
say
nay?
nay, nope. I'm gonna stick to
No pressure.
fundraising. Yeah.
Wellness Fair was Nicole, Toby, Randy, who I'm not letting quit. Shelly.
He's
Yeah.
not on the. Randy's not on the board though.
You
No,
don't have
anybody
to
can
be.
serve on a committee, but
Oh.
these are board committee assignments. Thank you. That's a good point of order.
Yeah, I'd like to be added to your wellness fair because I'd like to get some sponsors for the fair.
Great. Member and community engagement. This has been to some extent the communications committee. I'm not sure if we want to separate it or just lump it together as a point of order.
Can I just have a point of clarification? Can you just expound upon what this committee encompasses, Nicole?
Getting better turnout at meetings, holding more community events, rebuilding that sense of community that was lost since COVID.
Because I try to help with like socials and sending things, so I don't know where that would kind of fall under, but I'm happy to continue to help doing that with documenting, sending things for social. I'm not sure like which one that would go under.
Put me and Shell on there. Holly. This would kind of fall under the fundraising.
I was gonna say I'd join it too, but
membership.
I have a question. Is this committee I have for the seniors included in that, or is
I think it's Community Services Committee, Toby?
It is? Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm open to any answer.
I think that's what we had in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm on there. And then I don't know if I raised my hand for the wellness fair, but I would be on the wellness fair again.
Oh, yes, I put you there.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
I wasn't letting you quit.
Okay.
Fundraising committee heads.
Right,
So we all
fundraising is-
agreed we are all in charge of this.
Right, but this is also strategy, so I would really love to encourage everyone on the board who can possibly give us a little bit of time so we can, put together some of the things that Angela is addressing. So Dan, Mike, Shell, Toby, this ought to be a non-biased type of movement to reinvigorate the process that the Residents Association is meant to do.
I'll do it. Dan here.
I'm happy to join as time permits for me, just so everybody is.
You bet. We'll invite you and keep you abreast.
And I guess, but I mean, this is a committee that I'm particularly interested in, but I mean, typically the president is sort of ex officio meeting of a member of all committees, but at any rate, put my name down for this one.
Great.
Okay. And we can also add members at any time, team. So if anybody thinks later, you can just ping me. Okay.
I got a question. Hi. So I actually just joined recently, like last month, but these committees, it says board committee. Can you clarify? So these are only for board members to?
No, that's a great point. So like on the wellness fair, we also had several residents that are not board officers that helped with that. So anybody can serve on a committee. We're just surveying the board officers to say who is going to be responsible for leading it and organizing it. And then we would share those committee meeting offerings with all members. Akasha, that's a brilliant question. Thank you so much.
Okay, because I did have interest in the security and safety. Yeah.
Great. I'm
So-
gonna put my email in the chat in a second, and I can introduce you to Walter.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Movies committee has been Angela and Henry trying to make things work. I just want to name, we really need more people to make this work. And I'll quickly also share that our new reservation is for Tuesdays, not Thursdays, just as a point of order, but
It's working. I got it.
who is willing to help get our movies restarted?
I'm still in it.
Thank you, Henry.
Do some more advertising.
Yeah, it's a great way to help recruit members, y'all.
Absolutely.
But we had noticeably absent participation from the board, which also pisses me off.
Do they have to start at 7?
I think 7. What do you mean?
No,
Should they
it's a
start
good time.
earlier?
Well, no, I was making a joke because, you know, my bedtime is 8 p.m. So I will never
Well,
be
you don't
able-
have to stay for the whole
I hear
movie
you.
call.
It's a point very well made, Angela, and I need to make a better effort of coming at the beginning.
Hmm.
Can you
And
tell
wanna
us
officially join
more
in?
about that? The movie?
Yes, so we endeavor to show a bi-weekly
I have no
or
idea.
maybe even one day a weekly movie or 3 days a week on Tuesdays to show a free movie in the theater. It has to come from this certain list of movies that we can access, but it just helps build community and bring everybody together. And of course, it could help increase membership. It's specifically a standalone committee because it does take time. You know, you have to go there, unlock the theater, turn the movie on, arrange the movies, be ready to do it, you know, so it is a time intensive, and again, any member is welcome to be on the committee. But I'm hesitant to say it's Henry's problem to solve alone.
Okay, I was just gonna say that it makes it kind of challenging for those who have school-age children. You know, it seems that if it's 7 o'clock, like what you mentioned, then guess what? We gotta go to bed at a certain time.
hear
And yeah, so that's probably one of the things. And if it has to be always on Tuesdays, then that might create, and not on a weekend, or is this just specifically Tuesdays?
Management shows kid-friendly movies on the weekends at kid-friendly times.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
this
okay.
was specifically for, not that a kid couldn't watch any of these movies, perhaps, you know, but more geared for adults.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, great question.
And Akasha, frankly, we've actually had really good attendance with school-age kids. So, so I don't know. I guess not everybody's putting their kids to bed at 8.
The principal in me won't listen to that sentence, Angela.
Antitrust.
Do you think they can have a movie in the daytime too for the people that it's hard for them to go out in the evening?
Toby, I think that's a great point. Who's going to go unlock the theater, show the movie, run the sound equipment, and make it happen? Because Henry can't. He's at work.
Yeah,
I have a job.
I can't. Yeah,
I hear
Um,
you. I don't know if you have
can't-
the availability to do that. Or...
well, I can't do it on Saturday. That's the day that it used to be on. So
Well,
I
we can
can't.
do it on any day we want if we get a reservation. The Saturday thing is management's thing. That has nothing to do with us.
Uh-huh. Well, let me think about it. Maybe I'll do
Okay.
that. I can do it on a, yeah, let me think about it because I want them to be able to go. And that was a big complaint that there used to be a daytime movie for a lot of the senior, you know, members here, and there's not. So yeah, I may do that on a Sunday. So let me think about it.
Okay, Henry, I'm going to circle back on this issue with everybody. We can't leave you standing alone here. Okay. Thanks, Bob.
All right. And then, Mike, you said that you had a new committee in mind?
Yeah, I don't have a name yet, but basically the rent committee or the lower the rent committee or the real cage committee. When I ran, I did it based on that the Attorney General of the state of California has a lawsuit with 7 other states, and the Justice Department against RealPage, the main contractor here. And there's also a class action lawsuit against RealPage by major tenants organizations like ours. And it seems to me, it appears from these two lawsuits that RealPage has got involved in what they said in these lawsuits is antitrust actions to share information between competing landlords so rents are raised, and also so they can figure out with software the most they can charge for rent. And I would like to be instrumental, hopefully with help from other people on the board, in approaching the attorney general and approaching the lawyers that are running this lawsuit to see if we should be involved in anything. I mean, there's what, 10,000 or more tenants here,
12,000.
2,200 units. It seems to me we'd be one of the biggest parties in either lawsuit.
Mike, as a point of order, we're on item 4 of 13, 14 agenda items. I think it's a brilliant idea for a committee. I don't think we need to debate the validity. Does anybody disagree?
No. And I think,
Does
I'd
anybody
call it,
want to join? Does anyone want to join Mike?
I will.
I would call it the Renters' Rights Committee. And, yeah, that's right up
The
my,
what?
Renters' Rights Committee.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
And yeah, it's right up my alley.
I'll help you out with that. I don't really.
Who's talking now?
Me, Toby. Whoops. Am I muted?
You're on. We
I'm
got
on.
you.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you on that. committee.
Henry, as I'm typing, since you want to do some workshops.
This does seem to line up with what I had put in the agenda later. So yes.
I'm
Brilliant.
ecstatic that you want to be involved. I was hoping you would.
Maybe not all on the RealPage effort, Mike, but all in all, making life better
Right.
and more affordable for renters.
I
Brilliant.
don't have any pull in the Justice Department, unfortunately, but I am happy
Well,
to advocate.
The Justice Department party is going to disappear from this case, I would imagine.
Don't
The
say
Attorney
it.
General, I
Okay.
don't think will, with the 7 other Attorney Generals.
We'll see.
Okay, great team. Thank you. We can continue this discussion in February.
Dan, did you have an issue?
I was going to propose that we create this Renters' Rights Committee. It doesn't exist, does
I
it?
We
agree.
just did.
We
It
just did,
exists.
yeah. I can appoint committees.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I forgot that I turned off my screen share when
Oh, yeah.
my apologies. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
it's official.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Bylaws 2025, item A, I guess, Nicole, you've already talked about.
I just want to, before we go on,
Oh.
who's officially on this committee then?
Mike, Toby, Henry, Bob.
Thanks.
I have an addition that was later in the agenda because people have been coming to me about built issues also, Mike.
Okay.
And so I set up an email address, which is basically built, BILT at PLBRA.org.
Oh, good.
For people to send in their experiences. So it would be to communicate that out, so to collect information from folks.
Yeah, great. And we could give Mike access to that once his PLBRA account is created.
So
Yeah.
that link should go on the web page.
Yeah, I know.
Yes to all of that. Great. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bob, item 5. Yes, we shared what we should proffer as considerations, though we don't need to make a decision today.
All right. And then amendment. This is Shelley's item.
Yes. Hi, so we're gonna table the discussion, just a point of clarification for item I. That was just mine. I'm happy to talk about it next meeting for same day registration, voting, all that stuff. Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna,
Yeah,
We're-
I think we
okay.
should take them as a package once we're ready to do it, Shelley, and thank you for capturing
Okay.
a note from Election Day. That was very pertinent and well proclaimed on that day. Definitely in support.
okay, so a table that I put for next meeting. So I'd sent, and I'm a little bit torn because we have new board members, welcome. And I know you didn't have the email that I had sent with the attached proposed bylaw. change that I would like to motion to add to the bylaws, and I put under the section since we had discussion about elections. So I'm gonna start it. I'm happy to table the vote till next time, and then it'll save more time our next meeting because we already know about it.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so then let's defer that discussion until next meeting.
I just don't, if one of you can help me in terms of, I just want to make sure that there's a place, you know, on subject for me to bring it up, because I
Yeah,
do want to.
there will be an agenda item next, there will be an agenda item in
All of this.
February.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so, okay, great. So
That's-
so for
that's how
new
we take
members
care
of the
of it.
board, I'll send it, and I sent it, you know, later last night, so you'll have, you know, ample time to review it, consider it, and then we can talk about it next time.
All right. Thank you, Shelley.
And Shelley, I'm gonna tag you here so you can add the full language of what your proposal is so that it's ready for vote next time.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Can I just make one comment?
Okay.
Sure.
I know we're not discussing this agenda item yet, but the little time I've been in the audience of the board for the meetings and now on the board, it seems like Nicole works her ass off. And I don't think we should be doing anything to substantially increase her job. I'm one of the people that got kept from voting last year. So I was a little annoyed, but now that I see the reasons why, it's not a terrible thing. You want to
Okay.
make sure.
Mike,
Consider next time.
yeah, let's save it for next time, I think. Because if we start getting into the discussion, then it's going to go, and it's just not fair to the people that don't get to speak.
Okay.
So we will have that discussion at the next meeting. Or whenever that particular agenda, whenever that particular amendment comes up for a vote. All right, new PLBRA office update. New space to set up.
Somebody needs to unpack it and get the mailbox moved and things like that. So I'm just naming this as an issue.
Yes, I wanted to go back to trying to recruit some volunteers. And the last time we had discussed about using something like Volunteers of America, I need to know where to go to find out if our volunteers would be covered by insurance, or if we have insurance as an organization that I could say would cover the volunteers on site.
Holly, we don't currently have liability insurance because the company that was covering us dropped its insurance for 501c4s. And we've had a hard time finding another organization to cover us, which is one of the reasons I started talking to you about, you know, putting a 501c3 underneath this or something. So, yeah, so we currently don't have any coverage to offer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's have that in our strategic planning committee discussion, Angela, and that might be something worth exploring. And then I'll also put it on the Global Grant Writers Collective and see if there's anyone that is insuring 501c4s. We'll take it up both sides.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would say, Holly, is that before when I first joined the board, and it was a nightmare trying to find insurance. Yeah,
Shelley,
I'm sorry.
Mike actually had his hand up.
I don't know how much time I'm sticking our feet into, but my wife and I would be glad to help unpack the office. We've never even seen it. We don't know what you're talking about, assuming it's not a 2-week job.
It's a couple hours job if we could all agree on a day and a time and get it together to all show up there.
My wife, Chris, and I would be happy to help for a couple hours.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Holly, so let's work on a date and circulate that.
Okay, so let me get back to Shelley now. I'm sorry, Shelley.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have my screen really small, so I didn't see everybody there. Didn't mean to cut you off, Mike. I was just going to say that when I first joined the board, one of the things that I did was get insurance that was cheaper than the one we had. It was a nightmare shopping around. But there was some type of rider that also showed PLBRA on there. I don't know if it was like co-insurance. This is not my area of expertise, so I can't speak to it. So I think it may be worth us asking if since our office is in one of PLBRA's buildings, if there is any kind of secondary coverage that would cover us, if not just, we don't have it just for the organization, we definitely don't, but just speaking specifically to the confines of the office space or whatever we're gonna call it, that maybe we may be covered a little bit, Holly. And it might be worth asking.
Can I make a point of clarification, Nicole? I have a question. With the wellness fairs, do we have to get secondary insurance when we host the wellness fairs?
No, they all sign indemnity release that they're responsible for their own booth and actions that occur at their booth.
Okay, all right, thank you. I will speak to Park La Brea and to the collective and see what information I can find out.
Mike?
Yeah, my wife and I have used the Hartford insurance, which actually comes through AAA Auto Club. And we've used it for companies, for-profit companies, but it's quite possible they might be able to handle this. Have you guys ever contacted the Hartford?
I don't know if
Mike,
we,
I don't know. We talked to a while back to a broker who specializes in nonprofits and could not find anything for us that would cover what is essentially a PAC, a 501c4. So
if you want, I don't want to take over this responsibility, but I'd be happy to call my insurance company I always have a relationship with through AAA and see if they do cover them.
Sure, and just email me at holly@plbra.org and let me know. I have heard of the Hartford. They are not inexpensive. I recently purchased an umbrella policy due to the wildfires, and I have a very high car loan. So it may be possible that we just need like as Shell is saying, an indemnity rider to cover certain events. But it's quite possibly that we can have volunteers and we can have waivers signed to hold harmless in order to, the whole point here was like, I want to list PLBRA with the Volunteers of America so we could get some support cleaning out the extra rooms, so we get some support doing the unpacking. And, a few of us did pack up the office, a few of us can't unpack it, but the secondary room where Toby really deserves to have, movies for the seniors during the day and other meetings, that's a several day project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's a separate issue. I don't want to lump them together, to be fair. Like setting up our office is one task.
right, agreed.
Cleaning out the library and creating a community center is another task.
Okay, I want to keep us moving. We're way behind. We're already an hour into the meeting and we're on item 7 of 14.
I'll help too. It's in my building, so let me know, include me.
Okay. All right, current issues. 96 hour rule is not revoked per response for Alice. Whose issue is that? Because I thought the most recent.
Holly added it as a concern. It was since retracted.
Okay, thank you.
The newsletter had an error coming from management.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. Okay, so that item is simply not correct anymore. LA City Council meeting on January 7th. I attended it on behalf of PLBRA to present our position. Bottom line, Television City was approved 13-0. So it's moving forward. And well, I've got some other stuff to say, but I'll save it for my report. Due to the fires and other considerations, the town hall we had scheduled with Michael Hackman was postponed and will be rescheduled. I will work with Television City to get a new date. Can we add the neighborhood council to the town hall? Where'd that item come from? Okay. Outreach and tenants' rights presentation. Henry.
Yes. So I'm hoping to set up a tenants' rights seminar of some kind a few times, 3 or 4 times in the next year. I am a tenants' rights attorney. I know a thing or two about tenants' rights, and I think just giving some people more information about what their rights are, how to handle certain situations when dealing with management would be a good way to increase education and also hopefully membership. I can put together the presentation. I just put it in the agenda kind of just to put it on people's radar, and that is something I do think all board members should attend, because I think a general understanding of tenants' rights is probably something we should all have. And yeah, I don't have a date or anything worked out. I just if there is a date that works for most people, I was thinking to do it a weekday night, but if people think a weekend would make more sense, I'm open to it. So yeah, that's just where I'm at with that.
All right, Henry, thank you so much. I think that would be an enormously valuable addition to our offerings if we can make that happen. Let me know, let me personally know if there's any way I can personally help, and we'll move forward. Built research and resident feedback, Angela.
That we covered when I told Mike about the email.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I don't see any representatives from government here today. Committee updates, Communications Committee. Is that Ashley?
Yes, hi all. So I have been posting about our elections that we just had, the events that we had as well, even though the TVC one was postponed, was working hard to promote that as well. In the last month, so from the date of 12/17 to yesterday 1/15, our posts had 7,400 views. Interactions had 112, and we're up 6 new followers. I'm trying my best to always reshare all our content to the Park La Brea community Facebook group and the residents of Park La Brea Facebook group as well. Sometimes they are deleted and removed, but we're trying to just keep that going, and trying to just always make sure that all our content, all our events, everything that we offer are visible across the most populous way. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Ashley. Newsletter timeline, Nicole.
Yeah. No one's allowed to quit this committee since I'm in charge of it for now. So that's the rule. And all of our staff writers are still staff writers. Our next delivery date is March 1st. And so all content will be due February 12th. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Community Services, that would be Shelley and Toby.
Hi. Okay. So I have a couple things to cover here. So we did not have a meeting with Aaron and Chuck. However, did talk with Aaron today regarding seniors committee and doing things in the theater, and if that would be something they'd be open to. And she said that they would be. I also asked about just getting us like a little orientation to understand how everything works in there. So that was approved, met well. Next week, me and Toby are working on getting a meeting with both Chuck and Aaron to continue discussions about the pool and having a pool only membership. So stay tuned for that. I also met with Jay and just kind of went over some things in the gym. There are some more classes, some more pieces of equipment that are coming. They're on the way. He also confirmed that he's having someone come in and do maintenance on all the cardio machines because they're kind of have a little like coinkydinks going on there. So that's coming. Also, last time we were all together, somebody from the audience told us about their Anthem OTC cards and using that to pay for part of the gym. So I was talking with that resident, and then I kind of did my own research on it. And this card acted kind of like an FSA card. They were finally able to get it to go through and like use it as cash. And so that begged the question, can you use your FSA card to pay for gym memberships, pool? And the answer is maybe, but you have to get a letter of medical necessity, an LOMN. So it's possible. So, you know, I know it's it's not a definite yes, but maybe a little bit of relief out there for those of you that you know, use the pool and the gym. If your doctor can give reason for you to have to utilize these exercise services, then you may be able to use it. So so that's my news for us. And I think Toby, do you have anything that you want to add?
Toby, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
Toby can tell you some more about our plans.
well, that about covers it, I think. I really like the thing about the theater. That was a big win that we can start to use that, you know, for our projects already. Because the other things are going to take longer, I think, to set up
Oh, no, we're
the
frozen.
activity center. So this will be a great jump start.
Absolutely. Huge win, guys. Great
Yeah.
work.
All right, well done, guys.
I got froze, sorry. But yeah, so more to come. You know, and Nicole's already kind of opened up our committee. So if anybody wants to you know, come work with us, we're gonna try to bring back activities there. It may, you know, just be once a month, whether it be a book club or it be like a potluck for seniors, you know,
Yeah.
activities in the park, you know, we'll see what we can do.
All right.
I like potluck. I'd like to be a part of it if I can. Sorry.
Great. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
I was in the middle of chewing my food. I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you,
No,
Natasha.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put my email in the chat.
Okay,
Awesome.
always appreciate more people stepping forward. So thank you very much.
I think Donald's going to be on our committee, Shelley, too, for the seniors.
Okay.
Yeah, he agreed to do that. So it's
Okay.
growing, but we welcome anybody else because we want it to be a good one.
All right, moving forward. Security committee. Did Walter send a report? All right, moving on. Do we have a report from the movie committee? Doesn't look like it. Oh,
I'm sorry. I spoke to a member today. I want to relay this why it's fresh in my mind. And I'm not reopening Built. I'm not, but that was like the context of how it came up because we do have some residents who intentionally and do not ever want to have a computer or an email. And so a lot of these recent changes, as we have discussed, have really caught them off guard because they don't get the management emails or ours. And so the movies came up in this discussion with this resident who shared that the tower boards are overwhelming and there's too many things on them. And then if you don't have email, like how are, and in this case, Toby, some of our seniors supposed to know when these activities begin and or when we restart our movies. And so I threw out a few solutions, but the one we settled on was that, and so this is for all of us that are doing these activities, we will post the activity flyer in the bulletin board that's attached to the gym so that residents that don't have digital access can find out about it, especially since our newsletter is now only quarterly. Thank you.
thank you. All right. President's report. I guess I got two. I guess I got two items to discuss. One, while I was at City Council 9 days ago, I took the opportunity to point out to City Council that the report back on utility pass-through transparency is now nearly 2 years overdue. Can you please do something to dynamite that report back out of wherever it's stuck? I had one council member, not Katie. Katie is well aware of the issue, but I had a different council member come up to me to talk to me about it afterward. And I also got a minute of the council president's time and got a constructive suggestion, which I was going to jump on, and then I saw smoke. So I'm holding off until the fire is no longer such a pressing issue before moving forward on that, because right now it ain't going to be anybody's priority. Secondly, for those of you who haven't noticed, management has now announced that as of February 1, the rent drop boxes will be closed. I just saw that, I think, yesterday, on one of the boards. It kind of flashed by. I think that's, they said they're making the payment of rent easier. They are in fact making the payment of rent harder, because you either have to do it electronically, which some people, including me, won't do. You have to mail it in, which commits you to the tender mercies of the US Postal Turtle. Or you have to show up while they're open, which plenty of people cannot do. And
Bob,
so,
there's an extra layer to that, by the way, which prompted this built email, which is even showing up when they're open. You cannot hand a check to somebody at the counter. Somebody at accounting has to come out and take it. And that also gives them the opportunity, if they want to look at it. And if they decide it's not for the right thing or not for the right amount, they can refuse to take it.
okay. At any rate, I move that PLBRA formally oppose the closure of the rent boxes. Is there a second?
I second.
I saw
Holly.
Toby's hand up. Discussion of the motion. I don't see any. All right, in that case, all those in favor, let me know.
It's not
If
working.
you want to just physically raise a hand, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I think that was all of us. Okay. That motion passes 10-0. Angela, do you have any additional insight on what's going on with that?
The only other thing I would say is that I was in the office, and there were at least 2 other people who, like me, are repaying COVID debt. And we're actually going to be done in March. And the entire time, PLBRA, when we made our agreements, there was no stipulation about how you had to repay it. So we were free to use electronic payment. And then I was personally promised by Aaron that mid-month payments would be fine on the new built system, and they are in fact not. And then they alerted me and the other folks who were sitting with me that we had to either couldn't use electronic payment. It had to be either a check delivered directly to them or mailed, so that they get it by the 15th. So there are several layers to this, which I kind of appreciate Mike's interest in figuring this out. But in my opinion, we had an agreement, and I was able to exercise that agreement for a number of months, and then suddenly it's been changed. To me, it's like the agreement has been broken. So I think that's an issue that goes along with not having the payment box open. So now I'm on the hook to get money to them on the 15th. And all these issues that you mentioned are in play, but I can't use the electronic version.
Okay. Mike?
I know we're getting late on this meeting, but I'll say something I said before. My wife and I have been there 2 months in a row, and it's an incredibly long wait to get the check to the accounting department and get a receipt back. We've been there where there's been a very long line. We've been there where they suddenly go to lunch and they don't tell you. It's problematic. And if you don't want to use the new website, which we don't, we use the old one, but this one is onerous, as we said, the agreement you have to sign, it's a real problem paying your rent.
All right. Okay, thank you. Next. Finally, just a heads up for next meeting. Political, Mid-City West elections are coming up in April. That means that our March newsletter will be the last one published before those elections. It is my hope that PLBRA can take endorsement actions in time to put something into the newsletter, which as a practical matter means either at the February meeting or at an endorsement meeting or at a special meeting held in February. That's
Well, and not just held in February, but by Valentine's Day,
indeed.
you know.
Indeed. At any rate, it's not an action item for today, but it is an issue that I want to put on people's radar screen now because we're going to have to move quickly in order to make it happen. All right. That is the end of my report. Ashley.
Hi, I have nothing to report this meeting because I have been giving birth and having a newborn. So after, sorry, and she's already fussing right now, but I do plan on meeting with Erin and management and working with our lovely board members for member engagement and just getting back up to speed in the next month. So I'll have something to report for our February meeting.
Thank you. If you do meet with Erin this month, please bring to her attention.
Yes.
Please, the motion we just passed. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. Treasurer's report. Angela.
Okay. So I have now appended the current report to the agenda. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
What I hate about Zoom, sometimes I can't see what you're seeing. I have December's numbers plugged in so that I am actually still pending some advertising payments. So I do need to fix this a little bit, but we're roughly at a cash balance of $12,226, which I actually reported at the annual meeting. And then I've put projected January numbers in here because I've transferred some more membership dues from our fundraising platform, and we also have some more advertising money coming in. So hopefully we'll be closer to 15 grand by the end of January, which would be good.
Okay.
Also, sorry.
Go on, please.
This was the document that I was desperately trying to share with the when the projector wasn't working. But it's the first step in our annual report, which is basically kind of our cash position, our key financial highlights. We're mostly a cash operation. Money comes in and money goes back out. So our starting position at the beginning of the year was $26,000, and we're ending the year at $12,000 plus. And our expenses are around 20 grand. That's largely newsletter production. So far, we've had about $6,000 in revenue. 4 grand of that is advertising revenue, and 2 grand of that is dues. That will end up being closer to 4 grand by the time I get everything in the door. But it basically goes to show you that, as we all know, the drawdown on our money is the newsletter, and it's very difficult to make up for that with advertising revenues. So one of the things strategically we really have got to do in 2025, in addition to fundraising, is to figure out how to really build digital communications and monetize that. And I did some experiments around that this year, which seemed to work okay, but we have to have a plan around that. That doesn't just involve me. So that's my report. You had a question?
I had one quick one. Leave it up, please. Leave that up. Okay. The Bruce Altshuler bill. I believe that the correct number there is $900. I think we agreed to pay him what we paid him last year.
Well, I only had 450 recorded, so
I think that's from last year. The new bill would show on the 2025, Bob.
It's just deposits.
Got it.
Yeah. It was lower last year because he got COVID.
Correct. Okay, that's correct. Okay. Okay, because I thought that was a projection. I thought that number was a projection for this year.
It is a projection.
Okay, yeah, then the correct number will be 900.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, Shelley.
Hi, you answered my one question, but my other question with our newsletter. So we're averaging about $3,000 an issue. Would that be a fair statement? About 2,500 or 22 to 2,500 for the print and then 800 for delivery?
Yeah, so it's roughly 3,300.
3,300. Thank you.
Mike,
I can't see it on here. How much was the total amount of money that for last year that the organization got with membership dues?
It's going to end up being around $4,000, Mike.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Okay.
okay,
And then
and
Natasha, do you have a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just wanted to like make a quick comment. Hopefully, I take for what it's worth. But for those newsletters, that's the only way I actually was the printed ones. I got to find out about, PLBRA. So I just want to say, hey, it's working. You know what I mean? It reached me because the times that I've just like bombarded with so many emails, and I'm just sometimes print helps. So it reached me, and I would just like the first time I received like September, October, sometimes like, oh my goodness, when's the next one? Because there were some stuff that I really like reading about, just moving in July. So it really helps. Just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We know we used to print them monthly, but we can't afford it. So if we can figure out a way that we can make that happen, we could certainly do it. Fundraising, if everybody fundraises, we might be able to do it. So we like the newsletter.
all right. And then a fundraising update, Hackman Capital proposal.
I just wanted to note, and I think Holly did that earlier, that we are coming back around with Hackman. As y'all might know, I did present to them last year, but we didn't get to kind of finish the conversation. So Holly opened it back up. So
Yeah.
we are
May I
bullish
comment on that with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I had a
Comment away.
I had a long conversation with Adina, basically the week of the fire starting because we chose to postpone the town hall. And I spoke to her about it, and I just straight out asked for we are a very tightly run organization. You've gotten a unanimous approval by city hall for your planning. Can we have $500,000? And her answer was no, but we can give you 1,500. And the reason that she said no this time was that they spent so much money fighting for to get their project passed. So to me, that's a no for this year. It's not a no for next year. We're putting together a 1-page of the sponsorship package for her to offer them some kind of sponsorship in trade for the $1,500. And I expect to hear something back from her before the end of this month.
Thank you. Okay, anything further on the treasurer's report, Angela?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary's report, Nicole.
All right, everybody. So I'll be quick. Mike and Dan, I'll be following up with you once your PLBRA email is ready so we can schedule, definitely not this weekend because I have to take my qualifying exam this weekend, so that we can schedule a orientation for how to access board only files and records, some of which are labeled confidential. But we keep everything there. I also started today and will continue to nudge committee chairs and officers to put all of our requisite files in this shared folder system. Once you get into the habit of doing it, it's great, and it's fast and easy to use. We will also be sharing with board officers only a confidential contact list, because it will have your personal cell phone, and information that is not for distribution. But we need to update that. We're missing 3 cell phone numbers, and I just want to make sure there's no typos. Then separately, we will be updating, and by we, I really mean hopefully maybe Ashley will be updating our website, and we'll need to update our who are we, kind of board officer page. And I want to, under all of those, make sure that all of our org emails, like Shelley was sharing earlier, Shelley@plbra.org, so that they're all links, and maybe what committees we serve on, and who our committee leads, just kind of this kind of information, so that later when someone great like Akasha's like, hey, wait, I wanted to help with that, who was I supposed to email? She can go back to our website and easily make that happen.
Definitely. Thanks, Nicole. I will get that going. And Dan and Mike, as our newest ones, I'll reach out to you for a headshot for our website as well. Friendly
You can
faces.
also steal it off the
Oh, off
either
the
that or
side.
you can use the right.
Right.
As an update for membership, we already have 102 paid active members for 2025. That is in part because we have successfully added several new members in the last 4 to 6 weeks. We also had our most successful renewal effort to date. We still have 53 members from 2024 that have not renewed, but never fear, they will still hear from me to try to get them to renew. And as a point of order, we closed 2024 with an official paid member slate of 139. Lastly, our meetings are now on Tuesdays. So our next full meeting is February 4th. We will continue the practice of rotating in person 1 month, online the next month. So the February 4th meeting is in person. We were able to re-secure our Tuesday reservation, which was our original meeting night. So hopefully everybody is happy about that. And if you are new to the board, please today go on the website, pull up the meeting calendar and put those meetings in your personal life calendar. Or just make it for the first Tuesday of the month. And then there's, very tiny edits, to go from there. But for all other guests who are also here tonight, you could calendar the whole year if you wanted to. They are there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Public comment. Donald.
Has the board considered going electronic for the newsletter due to our delicate financial position, as just mentioned by the treasurer?
Repeatedly.
Printing, going on just an electronic on
the answer to your question is yes. Repeatedly, we had a number of very long discussions about it, and concluded that it simply did not get enough penetration when we went electronic.
Thank you.
The dilemma was with only 1,000 or 1,200 emails, some of our advertisers would no longer participate. But I hear you. It's a real
I think
problem.
it's something that we should consider for a next board meeting for sure.
It's a real problem. Yeah.
To talk about just for the financial sustainability. If it's going to be 3,300 a pop and we have $12,000 left, we're going to be broke before the end of the year if we don't raise the money.
That's it. Just raise the money and I'll pick them up. I'll hold my discussion for next month. We need to reach out to people so that, where I stand, Shell, we'll raise the money.
Thank you, Donald. It's a great concern.
Okay, is there further public comment?
I think Donald has another item, Bob.
Thank you. Years ago, I was the person who negotiated with management with regard to insurance. It's not a matter of they're helping us. It's the other way around. Each group that runs a program has to bring PLBRA in as a secondarily insured party. We did this with an affidavit from State Farm. What they're saying is they want us to indemnify them rather than vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you, Donald. I was worried about that. Thank you.
Okay, is there further public comment? Shelley?
Yes, I just have one more thing I wanted to add that I didn't share earlier because it wasn't an official business, but I don't know if any of you all have saw today or watched Spectrum News 1, but PLBRA was featured on there. I recorded it. I'm going to send it to the VP and we'll figure out a way that you guys can view it. We do have some people here, at least one couple here that relocated from the Altadena fires. Management, one of the things I did talk to Aaron about too today was fire, relief for people that have been through the fires. I myself have donated some things. So if anybody on the call has items they want to donate, but they don't know where to take them or where to go, and please reach out to me. I'm here to help. And also one of the things that was on my mind that I wanted to share with everybody. And so if you're having conversations with people that are affected, the story it's not being covered too much is all of the service workers who, were lucky enough to have their home, but don't have the job anymore or have significantly reduced income now because they've lost most of the people that they used to work for, and those opportunities. And so it got me thinking, you know, we don't know who's here. I mean, I myself have lost a lot of 75% of business in the past week. So if I talked to Erin about that and I said, would Prime be, you know, open to working with people if they have to break their lease? And, you know, she encouraged me to, if anybody's in that situation, to talk to them. They're already, if you haven't seen the email that's been circulated, going to waive the early lease break fee for anyone who's looking to relocate that moves here. So if the board is open to it, I would like to get involved and try to take the lead on this issue to help people. But I just wanted anybody to know, like I said, that's listening now, to not think that you're alone, and these things are all being considered, and to reach out to management if you're affected by them. That's it.
Shelley, thank you for elevating that. I will forward to you from my work email the list of resources that we gathered for our parents and our faculty, because I did have employees whose homes burned down. And secondarily, I just posted on the groups tonight that I have a couch and a TV that are both in pretty good shape. You know, and in fairness, I would love for it to go to someone who lost things in the fire. It could also go to a needy family or a college student. You know, but I would like it to go, you know, to somebody in need. So thank you for elevating that.
Yeah, Shelley, keep me in the loop, please, on discussions with management, particularly about giving our residents, present or future, a break, because that's the sort of thing where political involvement can be helpful.
Also, I had actually talked directly to Erin last week about setting up packages for evacuees, and I asked her if we could share the information because she said that they were in fact doing that. So I'd really love to see that Spectrum news piece, because she never got back to me about sharing the info. So it would be helpful to find out what the details are.
Angela, she did say today that there was going to be more information to come, that they were working on things. And literally right after I talked to her, that small email was sent. So I can just say that there's nothing like on paper now, but she told me they're having discussions and they haven't figured it out exactly what it's going to look like yet. But that these are things that are being discussed and will come. And I wanted to wait, you know, of course, to talk to you all to see if this was something that you're okay with me, you know, running point on and being involved with under my committee.
Yeah, absolutely, Shelley. And Henry and I observed when we were sitting outside for a couple of hours on Sunday, an extremely high number of people bringing friends around on tours, looking at, we're like, whoa, this has got to be, you know, so there's definitely going to be movement in and out because of this. Yeah.
I'd like to say two things. Nicole, my daughter is doing donations and drives, and I can find out if they have a truck to come pick up the couch and the TV. And secondly, not only are they waiving the fees for the shorter term leases, but you may now foster a pet without an additional pet deposit, and you may now also move in with your pet without additional pet deposits. So let's just applaud Prime and give them a lot of kudos for doing the right thing. Thank you.
Good job.
All right. Is there any further public comment? I don't see any. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Nicole.
Is there a second? Dan. That is not debatable. All those in favor, let me know. That seems to be all of us. Holly, are you voting on the motion to adjourn? Okay, that is all of us. 8:37. We're out of here. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully we will get back to significantly shorter meetings starting next month.
Great job.